Hi, welcome back. We are continuing with the family under the bridge, and this is chapter 4. There's a fancy Christmas window out here you should see, said Armand to the children. He wanted to cheer them because they were so silent and forlorn. He led them to the fancy doors facing the Palais Royal square. A crowd of people blocked the window, but the tramp and his companions wormed their way to the front. The children's eyes bulged. Such a grand sight they had never seen. A scroll near the front of the window said the scene was the marriage of Tartine. It was truly a wedding out of a storybook. Two mechanical figures, a man and a woman, dressed in gorgeous white costumes of long ago, stood in a high pavilion. They bowed sedately to each other while music tinkled romantically. But even more remarkable was the parade of tiny figures below the lovers. There were white-capped cooks bearing wondrous dishes of the wedding feast. One carried a gaudy peacock which raised and lowered its neck in time to the tune. Another held up a great crab that clicked out the rhythm with its claws. And yet another carried a cake even fancier than the Christmas log in the bakery window. Each little cook was so proud of his dish that he waltzed around and around as he paraded. I bet they will live in a beautiful castle after the wedding, sighed Susie, gazing at the lovely bride and groom. I'm hungry, said Paul. Me too, agreed Evelyn. The dog that should have been white was drooling on the man's shoes. A crafty look came into Armand's eyes. I bet you know the words of that tune they're playing, he coaxed. It's Dame Tartine. If you'll sing it for me, I'll get you something to eat. Paul put his hand over his mouth. Evelyn put her finger in hers. Susie shyly shook her head. There are too many people here, she said. Then sing for them, said Armand. Don't be silly starlings, without a song in your throats. Open your little beaks and sing like canaries. So Paul pulled his hand from his mouth and began to sing in a thin but firm voice. Then Susie joined him in a sweet high tone. Evelyn took her finger out of her mouth and chirped with them. They sang like three little birds on a branch in the springtime. When they had finished 2 verses, Armand clapped hard, then pulled his beret off his head and held it out to one person after another in the crowd. Alms, he begged. There's a picture of him and the children. Alms for a poor old grandfather with 3 fatherless children to clothe and feed, and an orphan dog. The people gave generously because they felt the spirit of Christmas. The coins clinked into the hobo's beret. The concert had been so successful that Armand waited until the first audience left and a new one came to look at the window. Then he had the children sing again, and again he passed his beret for coins. This might have gone on for some time if the haughty floor walker hadn't come out of the store to see why the crowd around the window was bigger than ever. He scowled at the quartet. On your way, he ordered them with a wave of his hand and his nose in the air. No begging in front of the Louvre. Armand did not mind leaving. His beret was heavy with francs, which he funneled into his pocket. Come, canaries, he said. You are good children. I'll treat you to pancakes. He took them around the corner to where a Breton man stood behind a stand making thin pancakes on 2 round black irons. I'll take a dozen for a starter, ordered Armand, but he had to show his money before the Breton would pour the batter out on the iron. One by one, the man made the pancakes, so slowly that the children thought they would die of hunger before he had made a full dozen. The smell was even better than that of the perfume in the Louvre. The cakes were big as scooter wheels and as thin as silk. The Breton spread each one with butter and jelly, then folded it twice. Everyone got 3 pancakes. Then Jojo whined pitifully, and they remembered that he was probably hungry too, so Armand ordered another dozen pancakes. They started back, munching happily on their pancakes, but Jojo kept on whining because he had swallowed each of his in one big gulp. When they reached a corner where a crowd of shoppers was waiting for buses, Armand suggested to the children that they entertain the weary people with some Christmas carols. The little Calcettes were less shy this time. They sang as loud as they could. And before the hobo had passed his beret around, alms he begged, so a poor old man can feed his starving children. But as the coins fell into his cap, an angry fist rapped against his back. Armand was frightened because he thought it was a policeman. But it was only another man as ragged as himself. A big box hung from his neck, and in it a little monkey dressed in a red and green suit made faces through the screen. Here's a picture. "What do you mean cutting into my territory?" demanded the man with the monkey. "You're stealing my show." Armand tried to make peace. Now don't let's cross swords, Titi, he said. There's enough of a crowd for both of us. The kind of people who like to listen to choirs wouldn't be interested in watching a monkey make faces anyway. Titi was not soothed. "Children or monkeys, what's the difference?" he demanded. "And this is my corner." But the children did not join the quarrel, although Jojo barked at the monkey, and the monkey made his worst face at the dog. Then the monkey gave the children a sad smile and held out its green cap to them. "Oh, he wants money too," said Susie, "and there's a bowl on top of the box for coins. Please give that little monkey some money, Monsieur Armand." "Indeed I will not," snapped Armand. "Please, please, monsieur," begged Evelyn. "The little monkey wants to buy some pancakes too." By this time most of the shoppers had boarded their buses. Armand tried to hustle his choir away, but the children wouldn't let him leave until he had dropped a coin in the bowl for the monkey. "That Titi is a fake," explained the hobo as they walked down the street. "He's just using the monkey to make money for himself." And he rattled the coins in his own pocket. When they came to the chestnut vendor, he treated them again. They waited as long as they could before eating the chestnuts because the hot shells warmed their hands. "Now remember," Armand cautioned the children, "not a word about this to your mamma, and I will take you with me every day." But when Madame Calcette came wearily down the steps that evening, the children rushed to meet her. "I saved a pancake for you, Mamma," cried Susie, digging into the pocket of her faded coat. "It's cold now, but it still tastes sweet." Paul reached into his coat pocket too. "And I brought you some chestnuts, Mamma," he said. "They're cold too, but they'll taste good." Evelyn began to sob. "I didn't save anything for you, Mamma," she wept. "I forgot." Madame Calcette hugged her. "Never mind," she said. "I've brought something for you." Then her voice grew suspicious. "Where did you get the pancake and the chestnuts?" she asked. Susie and Paul lowered their eyes. "We sang songs and people dropped money in Monsieur Armand's cap," said Evelyn. Madame Calcette flung the children's gifts to the ground. She angrily advanced toward the hobo, who was stretched out in his canvas. "You've turned my children into beggars," she accused. "You've been using them for begging on the streets." Now, madame," Armand tried to quiet her. "When the grand singers at the opera get paid for their songs, is that begging? I'll give you your share." But Madame Calcette was busy tearing down the canvases and gathering up blankets. "I don't want any of your ill-gotten money," she retorted. "We are going to leave here," she cried to the children. "I forbid you to have anything more to do with him." The children began to wail. Even Jojo howled dismally because he seemed to sense that there wouldn't be any more pancakes on the Rue de Rivoli. Armand proudly rose to his knobby shoes. "No need, madame," he said, as haughtily as he had spoken to the floor walker. "I'll leave myself and save you the trouble. I know when I'm not welcome." It took him very little time to pack his baby Bucky. "Don't go," cried Susie. "Please don't let him go, Mamma." "He's our grandpa," sobbed Evelyn. "He's all we have but you," added Paul. But Armand thrust out his bearded chin. "You just keep your old bridge, madame," he said. "It'll be a long time until you find anything else. Goodbye, starlings." Then he bumped his buggy down the way. He clattered it as noisily as he could so it would drown out the sound of the children's laments and the dogs howling. That's the end of chapter 4. Make a prediction. What do you think is going to happen? Will Armand stay away? And if not, how will he rejoin the family under the bridge? All right, I'll see you next time.